Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to Court Farms Country Park. This is episode 68 of the Let's Play series. I hope you're all doing very well and having a wonderful day. So, where are we at the minute then? Well, the last episode, episode 67, we finished off in December. And I have taken, as I have done once or twice before in the past, I've taken the executive decision to soldier on through winter. Because content-wise, in my personal opinion, there's not a huge amount going on. There's no growth in the fields. It's dead dark. It's always snowing. It's cold. It's rubbish. And footage-wise, there's not a huge amount to do. As I say, it's very dark. The fields aren't active at all. There's no growth. The grass doesn't grow any further through those winter months. And it is just a case of keeping on top of the animals, keeping the chickens fed, keeping the cows fed, keeping the sheep fed. You know the score. In my personal opinion, it doesn't make for great content, and on top of just feeding the animals, it's a case of just relocating all the produce produced by the cows, essentially just the manure and the slurry, shifting it from one place to another, out the bunkers into the biogas plant. Job done. Rinse and repeat, essentially, for what was it, 3 months, I think. But throughout those 3 months, now at the end of December, we finished the episode just north of £400,000. I think it was about 408,000 if I remember correctly. We are now sat at an extremely healthy 857,849 quid, which is amazing, as always. Now, to achieve that, I've not really sold a huge amount, if I'm honest. I had a little bit of canola and a little bit of linseed in the farm silo here, left over from last year's harvest. In total, we got just under 60,000 quid for both of those selling in January. So that was a good income. That was pretty decent. I just took it over the road to the Valley View stores and got that sold there. And the rest of the income was from the biogas plant, from the bakery, from the clothes, spinnery clothes, Farm Arnie going on over there. And the lettuces, essentially. I think that's everything. I don't think I've got any other productions going on. Oh, and of course the biogas plant as well. But that was without any silage, because the two silage bunkers that we had got topped up and covered over to ferment away, they are now completely fermented. They had finished fermenting, I think, in February, but I've left them be for now. We'll sort those out ASAP. We'll get a huge chunk of it put into the total mix ration machine there, and the rest of it we will throw into the biogas plant and make an income from. So we'll get onto that as soon as possible. Now, I have installed a couple of extra mods in the game since the last episode. I have installed the automatic water feeding system for animals and greenhouses. I've also installed the upgradable factories mod. Now, this was the upgradable factories was suggested to me by one of you wonderful viewers a few episodes ago. I installed it and completely forgotten about it, but now I have installed it. I haven't done anything with it yet, but essentially what that does, I believe, you can go into your production systems here. So let's take the clothes here, for example. So you can see me down here. As you can see in the bottom there, it says upgrade. So if I was to click L there, it says I can upgrade the tailor shop to level 2 for 110 grand. And you can do that with every production system that you have going on. So I can upgrade both spinneries to level 2, 66 grand, upgrade the bakery. Now, at the minute, I don't think I necessarily need to now, obviously, with me placing down another spinnery, doubling up on the spinnery power, as it were. I'm not going to upgrade anything right yet, but I have, as I say, I've installed it, and I might have a bit of a fiddle with it in the future. And there's a couple of other mods I've installed as well. But I'll bring those up in a few moments. I'll just show you see the water pump here that I've placed in the centre of all of these 5 lettuce tunnels. This is the automatic water feeding system. It costs 5,000 quid. You place it down near one of your areas that need water, and it essentially, well, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It automatically feeds water in, so I no longer have to every now and again come up here with a trailer of water and top up these tunnels. It's now just done for me automatically, all 5 of them from that one pump. And I have also placed one into the sheep pasture here. Just have a quick wander into the pasture here. There we go. Place this one down here. So now the sheep pen is now constantly full up of water. So that's pretty decent. That'll save me a bit of faffing around. So what that does mean, it also does mean that I can afford now to sell this tanker. I don't need it now. This water was the only thing I was using this for, so it's worth at the minute in the menus. It says it's worth about 13 grand. So we'll take that down to the shop, possibly get a couple more grand than that. From there, we'll get that done at some point today in this episode as well. Claw a little bit of money back into the bank account, but obviously, we're, as I say, looking at 800 and just shy of 860 grand. We're doing all right. Now, one thing that I've been thinking about doing in between episodes, having, as I normally do, having a bit of a ponder as to where we can go, how we can expand, because I'm always trying to expand something, aren't I? So I do have an idea. Obviously, we have sheep on the farm, 2 lots of them. We've got these guys here, and we've got the other sheep pen over on the far side of the map there, by the spinneries. We've got our cows, 2 lots of course. And one area on this map that I've always wanted to take advantage of is this quite beautiful horse pasture down here, down the road on the left-hand side. Now, we've driven past this a million times, and I've always thought that looks really quite cool. It looks a really cool, like a very authentic horse training area, I suppose, a stables, a riding stables, if you call it that. Oxy did a beautiful job in designing it and making it look as authentic as it does. So I figured to myself, you know what? That's going to be the next bit of land I'm going to buy. I've got more than enough fields. I think we're on about 10 or 11 fields now, possibly 12 in total when we count all the grass fields. All of which are growing away. At the minute we've got 4 fields of oat growing. The rest, here we are. The rest are all grass fields in varying states of growth. We have 2 grass fields that are at their first stage of growth, so we need to wait till April in order to cut those. So as we stand here in March, we have absolutely 0 going on in the fields, because throughout the winter as well, I did top up the lime and the fertilizer of the grass fields that were mown in the last couple of episodes. So that I got them rolled, and I topped them all up, so they're growing away essentially. But yeah, I'd always liked the look of this place down here. Now, I did a bit of testing. I came out of this save and went into another one. And when you actually buy this land, I assumed wrongfully that when you bought this land, a load of menu icons would appear and you'd be able to, treat this as a horse pasture. But it isn't. It's just a decorative horse pasture. It doesn't do anything. I bought the land and nothing happens. You can't do anything with these stables. You can't put animals in here or anything like that. And because I'd had this plan for this episode, I kind of I was a bit, oh no, but what am I going to do? So, the mods that I have installed to help me with this venture that I'm going to go down is the Extendable Pastures mod and the Horseman mod. Now, the Horseman mod I've actually had installed for quite a while, but it wasn't activated on here, and it's essentially an automatic horse trainer fitness thing. So, when you have your horses, they automatically get their daily riding. I'm not going to be spending huge amounts of time riding around on horses, increasing their daily fitness. That'll all be done for me. You do pay a fee. I think it's about 50 quid a month or something like that. 50 quid a day. Well, I think it's a month, something like that. But we can afford it. We've got plenty of money. So in order to go down to this venture, I'm going to, as I say, I'm going to buy this plot of land. It comes, what you get is you get the this what do you call it, a riding area, like a jumping area there, and you get this field of grass here as well. But what I'm going to do, using the Expandable Pastures mod, I can turn this into a usable, functioning horse pasture. And it's really quite interesting how it works. Now, as we all know, most horse pastures in the game have a numerical limit on the horses. I think you can have, the most I've seen in one, I think is 8, if my memory serves me correctly. But with this Expandable Pastures mod, when I laid out how I wanted to have this done, because from the outside, it's not going to look any different. It's going to look exactly the same. There'll be a couple of feeders, a water and a food trough laid down, but it will essentially look exactly the same. But because of the way the expandable pastures mod works, it gave me it essentially had a total of about 260 horses that I could have in this area. Now, I'm not going to do that. Obviously, that's ridiculous. But I am going to, as I say, just invest a bit of money in. I think I will keep 8 horses at the most at the minute. But because I have the enhanced animal mod in here as well, they will also reproduce and produce foals. So in the distant future, they will reproduce, and we'll have some baby horses, as it were, to feed and to grow, etc., etc. So yeah, that's where I'm going to go for at least in the beginning of this episode. Anyway, that's what I'd like to do. Now, when it comes to making money from horses, it is possible to do. You can make money from horses. It's a very slow burning process. That's all I'm going to say. If I was to buy all the horses and buy in all the food, you essentially risk the horses eating all of their profit, the money that they make as you buy them, and they get trained, and their health increases, their fitness increases, their value increases as well. And over a period of about a couple of years, they can increase. I think numerically I had it by just over 100%. So they're $2,000 a horse when you buy them. They immediately have a value that as soon as they enter your pasture, their value drops to about 550 or 540 quid. And then you have to train them and feed them and keep them healthy all the way up through for the next few years. And when I was testing this whole thing, I went through it up to about, I think it was about 4,600 quid they were worth. And that was, I think it was 2 years later. And it can carry on and carry on. You can get more out of them, as it were. And but by that point, they'd already reproduced, and each one of them had a foal. So essentially, when they reproduce a foal, you can grow them into full-blown horses and make a bit more money again from them. So, as I say, financially, it's going to be a very slow-burning process, and especially if you were to consider just the horse investment on their own, buying this plot of land. The expandable pastures mods aren't particularly expensive, so that's not really much to worry about. But I think this land it's about 80 odd grand, I think. Let's have a quick look. Farmland, there we go. Now it's this one here, 86,000, just over 86,000. So if it just on their own, if we were to factor in the cost of the land, the cost of the horses, buying a horse box, and I might be considering buying a particular vehicle to tow the horse box around. It's you'll see what I mean very shortly. So if I was to factor in all of those investments into one just on the horses, then yes, it would take an extremely long time for it to turn into a profit. But because I'm essentially going to be taking profits from other ventures and productions that we already have going on, as I say, we've made 400,000 something quid over 3 months, so I've got the money to do it. It's no problem. Now, fortunately, we have 4 fields of oats growing away. Horses eat oats, so that's all good. So in the next few months, in fact, let's just remind myself, when does harvest time commence for those oats? We've got several months ahead of us. July, so 3 and a bit months ahead of us. So we've got a bit of time to wait, so I will have to buy some food in for them initially. One thing I forgot to mention as well before, on top of the fact that we've gone from 400 and something thousand to 858,000 pounds in the last 3 months, I had also spent around about 50 or 60 grand on loose bales of straw and hay from the store. The several £100,000 we had of straw sitting in our multi-fruit silo opposite the workshops there on the farm, we went through that had all gone, and also the hay in the total mix ration machine was also dwindling quite low. So I decided to buy several stacks of bales of hay and of straw and topped, just to keep me topped up throughout the winter months as I was going through. So that 858 that we're at now, that would have been well into the 900s had I not had to do that. But it is what it is. But as I say, we've still got mountains of money. So I can afford to do these things, which is great. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get myself down to the shop. I'm going to make a couple of purchases. I'm going to buy a vehicle. I'm going to buy a horse box. We're going to buy the land, and then I'm going to get placing down these expandable pastures. And I'll see you all when that's done. And I'll be down there, hopefully, with some horses. And there we go. Just like that, I'm now a horse trainer. So, we have 8 horses in total. We have 2 of each. We have a male and a female of each colour. So we've got the grey one, the palomino, the black, and the brown. We have a male and female of each. So that's all good. But, yeah, as you can see, this is now a fully functioning horse pasture. Now, I've placed it down. This is the beginning of the extendable pasture mod. It's just essentially just an open pasture. Now, I've tried to place it as close as I can to the fence. Admittedly, I appreciate I've not done it particularly well. But essentially, when it comes to the trigger, just like a normal pasture, right in front of the gate here, there's the trigger. If I bring up the if I bring him up into the display, there we go. So yeah, there we go. I can place it. That's why I've placed those there, so I don't have to drive into the fields to the water and the food there. And here's the animal dialogue. But obviously, I don't need to worry about the water because, as you can see from the numbers in the bottom corner there, they have 1 billion litres, which I think is just meant to quantify that they have a never-ending supply of water thanks to the automatic water feeding mod. And what I have done is I have purchased using the farm supply pack mod, which I've had installed for quite a while, where you can buy 5,000 litres of various products for £1,000. I've purchased 6 5,000 litre pallets, these things here, essentially, of oat. So they have now got, as you can see from the numbers there, just under 30,000 litres. So that should be enough for the next several months to keep them by for now, until I can get my own supply of oats from the field. Because initially I'd planted those 4 fields of oats primarily just so I can get the straw, and I'll harvest the oats and sell them. But now I've got a use for the straw, so I can literally just take the whole lot and put it in here, because the quantities are, again, bringing up the heads-up display there, the quantity of food is 308,000 litres, so I can't imagine we're going to get anything like that kind of a yield in litres from the 4 fields, but whatever we do get will go in here. So yeah, that's that. So, and what else? Yeah, and of course, the quintessential horse trainer's vehicle. I suppose I had the choice of either a Land Rover Discovery, a Land Rover Defender, or in my personal opinion, the best one, an L322 Range Rover. And of course, you know what I'm like with me number plates, so all I'm going to say about that one is, if you know, you know. But yeah, had to do it. L322, my favourite of all the ranges. Right, anyway, that's that. So, and we've got a horse box as well, of course, to transport them over, because the animal dealer is literally just next door, so I just had to make 4 trips. There's the water pump that feeds the water. So it's all good. So, I suppose now I can essentially just leave these be for now until I'll keep an eye on the food from the menu, obviously, but I'm pretty sure that food-wise they should be okay. I do have that other pallet there on the telehandler, which we will get tipped in there as well. But I think now that that's done. Now, as I said before, it's going to be a very long time before we make any kind of money from these guys. We'll just take it as it comes. But we're now set at 650 grand, which is still a huge amount of money, isn't it? For goodness sake, to buying the land, the horses, a Range Rover, a horse box, and a load of food. I've still got a load of money, haven't I? So let's get back to the farm. I think the next step is I need to get our bunkers emptied. As I said before, we've got several 100,000 litres now of silage fermented away. So I need to put a good chunk of that into the biogas plant and a good chunk of that into the Total Mix ration machine. But now I can park a Range Rover in front of my garage. There we go. Proper farm now. Right, let's get down to the bunkers. Several 100,000 litres, did I say, of silage. We've got just under 1 million litres, 997,000 and a little bit, which is pretty crazy. So we have capacity for 750,000 of those litres in the biogas plant, and we have capacity for about 350,000 in the total mixed ration machine. So let's stick some music on and get cracking. All done. That was a beast of a job, if I'm honest. Shifting almost 1 million litres of silage to various destinations, but we have now completely filled the total mixed ration machine up on the hill there. That is completely full, up to 750,000 litres, and the rest of it went in the biogas plant. So popping very quickly into the production systems menu, silage in the mini BGA there. I deactivated it just before, just so I can show you the quantities we put in there. So 613,317 litres is currently in there, and total mixed ration 750,000 litres of silage in there. So that's brilliant. So we can activate that one, get that one working for us into here, activate that. Right, brilliant, off we go. So that's going to be earning a nice hourly income for us. So where we currently are, again, I think I might be repeating myself here, we're in March. There is no field work for us to do right this second. The grass fields that are apparently ready to harvest aren't quite ready yet. They need to be we need to wait for their second growth stage, as we all know, and that ain't going to happen till April. So there's very little going on. So what I plan to do, I think I might have mentioned this earlier on in the video, forgive me if I did or not. I might have said I don't need to buy any more farmland, but what I'm actually going to do, in complete contrast to that, is I'm going to buy another field. It's one that I have had my eye on for some time. I've always wanted to buy it, but because of the price of it, I haven't bought it. But now that we do have a little bit of money left in the bank, as you can see, we're still at £643,140. So jumping again quickly into the map PDA, it is this one here, field 46. Let's bring up the farmland section. It's at a cost of value of £452,304. I believe it is one of, if not the biggest field on the map. That says 6.48 hectares there. If we go down to the grass field here, 165, that says 6.33, and I'm pretty sure that is the biggest one. We own plot 48 there at 4.6, plot 100 is 4.78, and plot 22 is 5.20. So yeah, even if we take into account that section there, which I can't really do anything about, 6.48 hectares, or even if it was just 6 hectares, it's still the biggest plot of arable land on the map. So we're going to purchase that. I'm going to do that right now. So farmland, boom, buy, yes. Done. Now, that particular field is in a particularly sorry state. So going over to here, we can take a quick speed trip over there. As you can see, there's no crop in the ground apart from a very, very heavy crop of weeds. So what I think I'm going to do is, obviously I'm going to get this field scanned first off. I'll do that off camera because it's a particularly tedious job. Even though I do have the modded field scanner, I'll get the precision farming data logged, and then we're going to run the cultivator and get rid of all this mess and start again with it. I think it does look like it has some level of field stones in, so that is going to be a particularly time-consuming task as well. May not necessarily be in this episode, but to be fair, we could do with an increase in the intake of stones, get it tipped into our lime machine and get some lime out of that, I suppose. But that is going to take a while because my stone picker is quite narrow and this is the biggest plot of land on the map. So yeah, that's probably going to be an off-camera job as well, if I'm honest. But what I think I might do with this field, potentially, is plant some corn and run a massive corn silage job from it, I think. Corn can be planted next month, so if I pull my finger out, as it were, we can get something sorted with this. So, as I say, let's jump very quickly. Oh yeah, that's the first vehicle now, isn't it? My nice new Range Rover. You figured out what I mean by that yet? I'm sure a lot of you will. Let me know in the comments. So, I think it's time to dig out the deer. We'll connect its front weight up. We'll hook up the cultivator. And we'll get cracking on making that field look a little bit better. Right, off we go. We're in the deer. We've got the field cultivator hooked up. Got the front weight on. Keep it balanced at the front end. I've just scanned in the field data. Now, unfortunately, a huge portion of this field is dark blue on the map PDA, silty clay, which is a bit unfortunate, but it just means we're going to use a little bit more seed when it comes to seeding. It's going to take a little bit more fert and lime, perhaps, on that area of land. But it is what it is. There's not much we can do about that, so let's get ourselves into the field and get cracking.
Counting all my blessings, God, come get me out of this town. 'Cause every day I wake up wishing I could break up with the city light and construction sound. I couldn't wait to move, I had so much to prove. It was all I could do to get away. But now that I'm here, I'm filled with fear. In the mirror when I look at my face, all I see is an empty heart and broken dream. Oh, you got me cussing, yeah, I'm probably running, trying to get away from myself. Do I need a vacation, maybe medication? Do you think I need professional help? I couldn't wait to move, I had so much to prove. It's all I could do to get away. But now that I'm here, I'm filled with fear. In the mirror when I look at my face, all I see is an empty heart and broken dream. Don't was all I could do to get away. But now that I'm here, I'm filled with fear. In the mirror when I look at my face, I couldn't wait to move, I had so much to prove. It's all I could do to get away. And now that I'm here, I'm filled with fear. In the mirror when I look at my face, all I see is an empty heart and broken dreams.
Boom, job done. There we go. The latest field acquisition for Home Farm has been treated to its first run over with the tractor, and as you can see, we are absolutely rammed with stones. Now, these are all big stones. There's not even the slightest hint of yellow or orange in the map PDA. Jumping in there very quickly, as you can see, they are all massive. So, I suppose the only positive that's going to come from that is we're going to be getting ourselves quite a large amount of free line from that. So, pros and cons and all that. So, job done. Now, like I said before, I think I am going to be putting this field to corn next month. I think it's going to be a big operation, that running corn silage. I appreciate that with our forage harvester. And what I will probably end up doing is having a go at running both tractors and trailers. I know we have a normal grain trailer and a silage trailer, so technically I should just really be using the silage trailer, but because it is a big area of land, there will be a huge amount of chaff coming out of this one going into the bunkers. So I think a slightly bigger operation might be called for. So 2 tractors, 2 trailers, and the forage harvester. But we shall see. So, Home Farm has expanded yet again. We've got another just over 6.5 hectares to add into the portfolio. And I'm now a horse trainer. Not that I'm going to be doing much of the training myself, but regardless, I'm still paying for the damn things, aren't I? So I am now a horse trainer. And as I said before, it's going to be a very slow burning process, that making some money from those horses, but it's still going to be something interesting to do. As I say, we've got several fields of oats growing away, so that's going to be going straight into horse feed. We'll no doubt be keeping a good chunk of that back in the silo, or thinking about it actually. There is capacity in that horse barn, horse pen area, pasture, whatever you want to call it, to take the whole lot. So either way, it's all good. So, anyway, I think for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it here. So, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your time watching the video. I do hope you've enjoyed it and found it even remotely fun and interesting. As always, if you're new to my channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, giving the video a like if you can. And also, as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing a DLC, an add-on, a season pass, or even the full game itself, and you like the idea of helping a content creator out at the same time, as always, I would be massively appreciative. Thanks again, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.